Welcome back to Terpyhighs, back with another weekly video for the channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than the usual single update of each location, where we're going to combine all three locations, the grow tent space, the commercial facility, and the cafe all into one video, just to make a worthwhile video for you guys to enjoy. So in last week's video showing this grow tent space, we took a look at the clones in here and figured out how unhealthy they are, as I did a few mistakes in the previous videos which contributed in them not growing very well, and after the transplant pretty much dying. So we'll take a quick look at those plants. Pretty much all of them are dead now. I'm just gonna restart this entire batch over. I've got new clones on the way. Should be here in a week or two, fully rooted and healthy plants. We can see they pretty much shriveled up and died. I'm pretty sure this was from overwatering, as this growing medium has held quite a bit of moisture, and well, the plants aren't absorbing it, along with not releasing it into the air very much. I did do the 3 holes at the bottom on each side like I do in the commercial facility. The only difference between here and the commercial facility, this is a full 10 liters of growing medium. In the commercial facility, we use 1.64 gallons of growing medium, so quite a bit less, a couple liters, 2 liters less, I believe, which with these tall bags, with these small plants, the root system is not big enough to be able to use up all the moisture in this growing medium. So there is quite a bit of extra moisture in here being held. It doesn't allow the plant to properly absorb the nutrients and water out of the growing medium into the plant. So I believe that's the cause of what happened in here. The smaller clones up here didn't have such a drastic effect as these ones over here, just because they are smaller plants. But we can see how this tray has perlite in it, which is the new growing medium that I had just purchased, which is the same as here. And then we have straight cocoa in these 3 trays. So the problem with these 3 trays is from this growing medium was from my previous grows, and I had it sitting out as an open bag. So the cocoa actually became hydrophobic, which means it doesn't absorb water properly, and takes a very long time for the cocoa to even get wet, let alone holding the moisture for a long period of time. So what I was having to do was leaving a bunch of water in the bottom and letting the growing medium sit in the water. The problem is with these, here, let me knock off the cocoa. The way I had these clones rooted, I'm using a Root Riot rooting plug, which is able to hold a lot of moisture. So even though the cocoa was not absorbing the water, the Root Riot had a ton of moisture in it, making the clones overwatered also. Even though the growing medium was not holding moisture, but the plug was oversaturated, which contributed in all of these clones dying. We do have one here that still survived, and a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth. That one might still stay alive, but I'm just gonna throw that one away. What I'm going to do to not lose all these strains in here that I have, I'm pretty much gonna lose these ones because these are the only plants I have of these. But these ones over here, I still have in flower in the commercial facility. So before I harvest those plants, I'm gonna take a bunch more clones out of the flower stage before I harvest them and reroot these, so I don't lose these strains all over again. That way this entire setup will be restarted fresh and won't make those mistakes again. Hopefully, another thing that I want to upgrade in here is I don't have a filter on the water system in here yet, which might also be a cause of this entire situation. Maybe it's from nutrient lockout from whatever's in the water previously that I haven't filtered out. So I will be getting a filtered system for the water in here before putting new plants in here. But overall, the room is set up, ready to go for the new plants. It's all clean. I just need to mop the floor one last time. And once I get these plants taken out of here, I'll clean up the floor underneath all ththose growing medium bags. However, I will actually use these pots again. I'm just going to remove each plant out of here like that and take the root system out, and then we'll transplant the new ones into there, and hopefully we won't have the issue again. So that's pretty much all I can update you guys on the grow tent space right now. So let's take a quick trip over to the cafe and give you guys a quick update on that entire space and what is taking the delays of opening that, because I am getting a bunch of messages of people that are traveling in Pattaya and want to visit the store, but unfortunately we haven't been able to get the doors open because of licensing yet. It's the processing part. We have been approved for the license. So hopefully they said within the month we'll have the license and then we can open the door. But I want to give you guys a look at all the changes that we had to make for the licensing process. Okay, so we're in the cafe space behind me. It's all cleaned up, ready to have the doors open for customers to come in. Give you guys a quick look at the entire layout now. We did have to remove some of the tables and chairs in here and move them upstairs, which will be the lounge in the future. Down here, we will expand once we get the doors open, more cabinets for display for bongs and pipes and whatnot. But overall, it's looking pretty good in here and much different now that we've cleaned it all up. We still have the VivoSun V-Grow all-in-one setup here, which we will be featuring a single plant in here right inside the cafe space. If you want any VivoSun products, just like the Grow Tent stuff that we featured in the last couple clips, you can use the discount code terpyhighs on the VivoSun website. So here's the cafe part. We do have a couple tables and chairs here, which go outside for people to enjoy on the street. But inside, it won't be anything right here currently. Later, we will put some display cabinets along this wall. And we are allowed to have one couch and table in here, which will be in this location back here. We got the bathroom, the toilet, the sink, and the urinal back there, and then our entrance up to the second floor, which will be the lounge. Over here in the display cabinet at the front, we have the Terpy neon sign here, updated. I don't know if I showed you guys the new logos above the door, but we have that. And then this will be where our bud is displayed in different qualities and quantities. The next cabinet over will be our pre-roll papers, rolling papers, grinders, accessories, all that. Then we have all of our pipes, nice assortment, some trays and whatnot. And then we have our nice display cabinet of all of our bongs. I'll walk around to the other side so you can see them. It's actually be able to see from outside very nicely also. So we have pretty much 3 bongs per shelf going all the way up. Nice selection to get started in here. We have a bunch of glass pipes here and assortment over here. Pretty basic to get started, but overall I'm happy with where we've got so far. Again, the table and chairs will go outside right at the front. That way you can see anybody walking past or traveling. Cleaned up quite a bit in here. Some of the changes we did need to make for the licensing is we needed to put signs up by the cashier for showing your ID and who we cannot sell to, along the door right there so people see that before coming inside, and also back here so when you're at this side, like the display cabinet, you see all the criteria there also. Got our camera system, security system set up in all the corners, outside, upstairs, and the back room. So we're covered on all of that stuff. The girls came in here and cleaned everything, all the floors, walls, and everything. So we're set up very nicely so far. I still need to get the glass replaced in this panel, and then we'll black out all that glass up there, cleaning up the final interior of here. I do have some acoustic decor wall panels to go in these gray sections. I'm just waiting on the doors to get open and have some revenue coming in through the doors before I start upgrading some more things. But I do have those panels, I just need to pay for the install on that. Well, that's a quick update for you guys on the cafe location. Not much is going on here. We're just really waiting on the licensing process right now. It's processing, they said, within the month. Hopefully 1 week or 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks so far, so hopefully in the next week we'll have the doors open and anybody wanting to visit here and see our products, I'm happy to have you guys in here and the girls will help you out with any questions that you have. So let's head over to the commercial facility now to give you guys a quick update on the flower room 1 and flower room 2 because we are getting close to harvest time over there. Okay, so we're over here in the commercial facility now. I'll give you guys a quick update on everything that's going on in here. Flower room 1 is currently at day 67 of flower, and flower room 2 is at day 47. So we got about 20 days in between the two rooms, and that will make it very easy for me and my partner to do the drying process and trimming of all that. I think this round of trimming, we're gonna have to hire a group of people just because we don't have any employees currently on staff. So once we get done with these 2 harvests, we'll end up buying the equipment for flower room 3 and 4, along with hiring some staff to help out once we have all 4 rooms going. So mixing the nutrients in these 55-gallon plastic drums has saved us a ton of time and energy, mixing the concentrates of each part A, part B, and bloom, and then we just mix the Fawzyme separately. I will get another 55-gallon drum and mix the Fawzyme in the future. I've actually added water to these 2 tanks as extra storage capacity because we have found with our current setup for the water in this building that we might have an issue when both tanks for each rooms go empty. We have a 3,000-gallon tank outside that is filled with water from the city. That's just not enough when both rooms are in full production. We do have a 5,000-gallon tank also that we need to install behind this wall, which will be our real water storage place. We just haven't plumbed it in yet, transported it above the ceiling, across, and then down. We'll have to get to that after we're done these 2 rooms. But overall, flower room 1 is getting straight water right now. This is 1 day's worth of water in both of them. This pump draws from both tanks at the same time, so that is about 40% of the 2,000 liters per day that the room is using right now. And then in flower room 2, we're using about 1 and about 80% of this one. We are missing 1 entire table in flower room 2 right now because we did take those plants out to see if that did change anything in our humidity issue in that grow room, which didn't really make it much of a difference. And we have since confirmed the humidity issue is coming from the leaks in the air ducting. So the HVAC guy is coming back to redo all the seals and joints in that HVAC system. So let's head into flower room 1. The plants are currently getting flushed. Let me turn off the fan for you guys. They are starting to fade, which we'll take a look right here on the leaves. You see some purpling coming in there, some colors. This is Tropicana Cherry. Let me zoom in for you guys. So here's a lower nug. We'll move up top right here. You can just see the quality of that, nice and frosty. The size looking very nicely swelled up. Some of the tips of the leaves are burnt a little bit just from having a bit too much of a dry back, but let me get up on a stool so you can get a nice overhead view of everything in this room. Sunday driver right next to it is looking really good, but we can notice some foxtailing up there at the tops of these plants. Not too sure if that is caused from a bit too strong of light on that strain, but that's the current situation that we're in. This entire room is on 2 channels, so half the room on the left is on 1 channel and half is on right. So I'm not currently able to adjust the light power across the entire room for each individual table, which we will upgrade in the future. I just don't have the money for the light controllers that will be needed to make every table its own channel. Overall, room's looking really good in here. Super happy with how this is turning out. The Tropicana Cherry, Sunday Driver, and Grease Monkey are my favorite 3 strains out of the Hidden Valley genetics over here. I don't like the blue Skittles too much. It's just lacks some bag appeal, so it'll be a little bit harder to move in the shops, but overall it smells really good. And then down here, let me get the stool over here and then I'll give you guys a good look at our keeper phenos of the Permanent Chimera, Platinum Pave, and Stomp Berries over there. Okay, so I'm just up on the stool now, taking a look at the Permanent Chimera. It's a little hard because the plants are leaning over right now. I believe this is Permanent Chimera number 2. Pretty happy with it. A little bit of foxtailing up there, but overall some nice color to it. Not the best lighting right now, but even all the way down here on the lowers, that's with no flash, that's what it's looking like. Nicely dense buds. Then we have a Permanent Chimera also. I believe this is number 7. A little bit more leaning to the permanent marker side of the pheno.
Super frosty, nice sized buds. I will have to re-veg a few of these plants. I think I'm going to take the number 2, number 7, and number 4, which is, the number 4 is heavily leaning permanent marker. The number 7 is a great in-between. It has both the permanent marker and Chimera, about 50-50. And then the number 2, I believe, is the heavily leaning Chimera strain, or Chimera Pheno. Overall, very happy. We got Platinum Pave down here and then Stompberry, so let me move the stool so we can take a look over there. Okay, so here's Platinum Pave, super dense buds, fat colas. Very happy with this strain. This is not the Keeper Pheno right here. I only have 2 plants on that side of the table, which we can't really look at right now. I believe it's that one right there also, but I'll have to confirm when I'm over there. Not exactly sure. And then we have like smaller phenos right here with much smaller buds, but still quality, just not really having the yield there. Overall, happy with the Platinum Pave number 4, as we did run it first on the seed and now we have it in clone, which performed just as good. So I'm very happy with both the permanent Chimera and Platinum Pave. And then we'll move down to the Stompberries next. Okay, so I actually came to the other side of the table. It's a little dangerous moving the table just because the plants are leaning quite a bit. These tables are straight from China and the metal is quite thin, leaving these plants not supported very well, and they are leaning quite a bit. But here is Stompberries number 14. Super nice large buds here, frosty. Very happy with the 14 Pheno. Number 5 is our other Pheno, which is the blue gas leaning Pheno. The 14 is the in-between of the Grape Stomper OG and blue gas. So that's what I was really going after when creating this strain, getting the size of the the Grape Stomper OG and the frostiness of the blue gas. So that was a quick look at all the plants in here. Sour Diesel, not very happy with. Just super large airy buds. Pretty much a waste of time. I wouldn't ever grow that again. Obviously, it's not that healthy. The fade is going on all these plants now, so we're just really in the final week of flushing these plants out and hopefully fading quite a bit more, because there is still a lot of green in those leaves. So let's head over to flower room 2 right now. Okay, so let's head into flower room 2. Here we go. Let me shut off the fans for you guys so you can hear me a little bit better. We got our 2 CO2 tanks here still. This has worked very well at stabilizing the CO2 across the entire room. One issue that we are having in here, you can see the plants are leaning quite a bit on each of the tables. That's the same issue we're having in flower room 2. As you can see down the aisle, this part of the tables is very thin. So any weight that's put on these support poles for the trellis netting, it just leans quite a bit. We're gonna have to figure out a way to fix that in the future for our next run. But for now, we're just gonna leave the plants how they are. We're not moving the tables back and forth or doing it as little as possible, because you can see every time we move it, the plants don't like that very much. We do have 2 layers of trellis netting on all the tables now. In our next run, we will like to have our bottom net a little lower, along with this top net a little bit lower. Some people put on 3 layers of net, which we might do in the future, but I believe 2 will be good if they're spaced out properly. And now that we're done building out these rooms, we'll be able to focus on the growing techniques and hitting all the time periods properly. So here's the look at King Juice. Super nice strain, frostiness. They'll start to swell up now, I hope anyways. Velvet Moon is probably our highest quality strain in here, it looks like. I like the color of it and the frostiness so far. It's not going to be the largest yielder, but I rather have quality than a large yielder. Over here, the Tardy Tatin is by far the largest yielder, but does lack some bag appeal. It's just large buds, super nice, but overall, we're doing all right in here. I wish I didn't have to take that one table out to check the humidity, but it is what it is. Our next run is going to be flawless in both the rooms, and we fixed all the small issues in here. So overall, very happy. So that's pretty much it for the this video. I'm not too sure how long this video is, as it is spread out between 3 different locations. But hope you guys enjoyed the little update of all the plants and the growing spaces. I'm happy to show you guys some more going in the future. And once we start harvesting these plants behind me, a lot will change now that we'll be able to bring some more employees on and free up some time. Maybe I'll put out more content while my time is freed up a bit. So until next time, happy growing everyone. And remember to get out there and make it happen.